Okay, good evening, everybody. Can I get a motion to call tonight's meeting to order?
Motion. Kirsten's on mute. Kirsten, can you second that off mute?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now we'll do the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To
To
the flag of the
of
United
the
States
United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one
one
nation,
nation, under
under
God,
indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
for all. Okay, can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we don't have any comments for the first public comments session. Can I get a motion to approve the Board of Ed minutes for the May 6th regular meeting and May 18th annual meeting and the May 24th special meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I know that elementary and high school student council weren't able to make it tonight, but elementary student council did just make a few announcements about the book fair next week, June 7th through the 11th, which will be set up behind the school. They also made a Memorial Day bulletin board for the basement floor, and they're in the early process of trying to put together an end of the year celebration with the high school council. Thank you, elementary student council, for those updates. All right, superintendent's report. You're up, Kim.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. I actually have a very brief update. The first update is I just want to let everyone know, the board and the community, that on June 10th at 6 o'clock, so next Thursday night, I'm going to do a live virtual presentation of the stimulus funds that Green Island's going to be receiving for feedback from the community. So again, June 10th at 6 o'clock, please keep checking the website and our social media for the link, and if you have questions or comments as well. Very similar to the form we use for board meetings. As I present and you have questions, you can put it right into the form and I'll answer them. So that's June 10th. I want to give a congratulations to Mr. Zachary Snyder. He is on the Zoom meet today. It is without reservation that I'm recommending to the Board of Education that we tenure him in business. Zach is a valued member of our family, our Heatley family. He makes great connections with students and his colleagues. His lessons are superb, classroom management. Zach has all the ingredients of a phenomenal educator, and he's constantly growing and has a growth mindset as he pursues further education. So congratulations to you, Zach. Yes. We're proud to have you a part of Green Island. The last thing I'd like to do is actually want to give a shout out to a student. Last week at a girls softball game, I was walking and a student had walked by me. The student's name was Destiny Webb. She walked by me and then she came back. She's like, Mrs. Ross. I said, what can I do for you, darling? She found a credit card and other identification of a gentleman, and she wanted to turn it in because she wasn't sure how to locate the man. And I just think that's integrity and that's character, and I'm proud of her. And it really is heartwarming to know that our Heatley kids did the right thing. So I just want to give a shout out that she did the right thing. And Mrs. Legault was working towards finding who the owner was. So other than that, I really have no other comments, except for one last thing. I want to thank the Board of Education for their continued support, not just of me, but of Heatley. And you're going to see on the agenda, extending my contract. I'm proud to be part of the Heatley family, and I'm excited that this actually starts to feel like roots, right? So I'm going to be here for a while. The board believes in me and believes in the vision moving forward. And I believe in my staff and my students. So it's an exciting day for me. So thank you to the Board of Education.
Thank you very much. And I echo Kim's congratulations on behalf of the board to Zachary. Congratulations. We're so excited to see you continue to progress in your career here with us. And thanks for everything you do for our kids. And kudos to the student as well. And congratulations to Kim. And thank you so much. And we look forward to the next many years of continuing to work towards our common goals in this district, which are ambitious and hopefully right within reach. So thank you very much. And we're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
Hey, anybody have any questions or comments for Kim's report? All right, welcome back, Beth.
I'm working on it. I'm on my phone right now. I'm trying to get back on my computer.
We can see you. I don't know if you can see the agenda, but
I can't, I can see some stuff, but I'm good for now.
okay. Just let us know if you need us to like call anything out that.
All right. Gotcha.
Okay, business managers report. Chris, you're up.
I'll try to keep this one brief as well. Just a couple items here. Capital project update. So we recently had Quest in to do some hazardous materials testing. This is going to be the areas that are going to be affected by any type of repair or construction here in the project. Still waiting to get the results of those tests. I think they went pretty well. They weren't here that often, that long anyways. They were only a couple hours. Kim and I also met with Elizabeth and Scott Wolf, I believe, from CS Arch to go over just some timeline and some updates on the project. So as we are right now, we are on track. We're hoping to actually, sorry about that. We're hoping to actually be ahead of schedule with our SED submission. I believe it's scheduled for December and November. We'd like to move that up about a month because that review can take a little long. They also provided us with a schematic design report this week. And what that's going to do is that'll be going out to the estimators the next couple of days. Again, it's a draft report. With the one area that we're still kind of discussing is the playground area. Kim and I both have seen the mock-up and a couple different options. The original plan was to go with a nature theme with a wooden playground. We are looking into something that's maybe a little bit more durable and a little less maintenance. So once we have that, then that schematic report should go out to the estimators and we should at least have an estimation of the cost for all these things. Year end and audit. So the auditors, Marvin and Company, have reached out to Kim Watkins and I to schedule their field work. Their preliminary work will be June 17th and 18th. They have already sent over most of the materials that they're looking for then. And Kim actually has done a lot of work this week in getting them as much as she can ahead of time. And then their primary field work will be on August 2nd. We also had Sarah Morrison in today from Questar, and I'm happy to report that went extremely well today. She was only here a couple of hours and our accounting and our books are up to date. Everything looked good. She's planning on coming back on June 21st, and we're going to go over all the federal funding and closing the end of the year. And that was one of the areas that was brought up in our last audit, year-end procedures and accounting. So we're hoping to get that taken care of and it won't be any finding for next year. With that, though, you will see on the agenda that there are approval for the corrective action plans and the audit findings. This is from the last audit. And basically what that is SED contacted me about including completion dates for all the findings on there. We had a few that were, as soon as possible, they would like an actual date. So the process hasn't changed. The corrective action hasn't changed. It's just the date that we plan on or planned to have all of that done by. And also I wanted to point out that one of the findings for extra classroom required us to change accounts for both our backpack and Christmas club, as they're technically not student activities. They're not held by a student government. So we've moved those into the general fund, established a new account, and that shouldn't be a finding on this year's audit as well. And lastly, in the administrative folder for everybody, I believe it's in there, you'll see an appropriation status. And basically what that is it's going to be our expenditures for the year compared to what our actual budget was. And I just want to let everybody know that that's compared to the budget. That's not compared to what our actual revenue was. So again, with COVID, with the pandemic, we were anticipating having a budget of one number. We had to take that down a little bit, reduce some costs, and our revenue in a perfect world would equal the budget. I can assure you that the revenue did not come out equal to the budget. However, with reducing those costs, I think we're going to be very good moving forward. I don't predict us being in the red at all. And that's pretty much all I had. If anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Chris. I did notice that Veronica is assigned to us this year for audit for Marvin. And I just wanted to let you know that Heather and Veronica are the team of auditors we've had at Unity House for a couple of years now. And I've had the opportunity to work with Veronica and Heather in my capacity there. And Veronica's wonderful. She's very knowledgeable, super nice and informative. So I think, that'll be a positive relationship.
It's been smooth so far, so everything's going well.
She's great. She's a great resource too, very knowledgeable. So good, wonderful. Great. Any questions for Chris? Okay, thank you. Okay, now the next report, is this going to be Jody Mazzio? Yes, okay. Jody, you're up.
Hi, everybody. Yes, we did a little switcheroo today, so I hope you don't mind. But Tiffany is going to do a more detailed report in July with a lot of the end of the year data for you. So she will be all set to present in the July meeting. So I want to congratulate Zach. He has definitely been an asset to us in the school, and I'm so proud that he received tenure tonight. So congratulations. Another congratulations I want to put out for tonight is to Christy Jaros. She is currently one of our high school or our secondary science teachers, and she applied to the Albany County Soil and Water Conservation District and received a grant for $2,090 to create a sustainable organic garden in her environmental science class. So I'm so excited to see that and to see how that's going to come out, and hopefully we'll get some yummy vegetables and out of that for next year. So congratulations to Christy and her application. It's been really busy. It's been a very busy end of the school year. I have a few thank yous to give tonight. We have sat in over 50 individual interviews for the open positions that we have for next school year and for our summer. In the last, I'd say 3 weeks, we've been doing these, and we've had a lot of staff members participate and be part of our interview team. So I just want to give a thank you to those members that have joined me. They are Justine Coleman, Erica McCarthy, Sarah Lawler, Dana Sapiri, Steph Bushy, Nicole Littlejohn, Nicole Anu, Lauren Casamano, Michelle Irons, and Tara Edick. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but I think that's basically the team that I've been working with. They all have dedicated a lot of hours in a lot of Zoom meetings to meet with our candidates, and I'm excited. I was really excited today and yesterday. We had some great interviews. I'm very excited about having them come in and teach some lessons next week so we can see what we have. So I want to just give a special thanks to all of those that have helped me. We have a lot of things going on at the end of the school year. Regents exams start on Thursday, June 17th. So we're getting pretty close to the end of the school year. We will be holding our Regents exams in our gym this year. And we are encouraging all of the students to take those 4 exams that the state is offering. And we also will be finally having the opportunity to have some typical and traditional end of the year celebrations. We will be doing our sports banquet in the gym this year on June 17th also. And so far we have 25 student athletes that have RSVP'd with their guests. Each athlete is allowed to have 2 guests. We are trying to make sure that we're still social distancing and keeping family pods together. So that was a manageable amount for an indoor arena. So we've been able to coordinate that. Mr. Ford is very excited about being able to have the coaches speak in person this year and congratulate all of our student athletes for what was a very non-traditional and unprecedented year. So I'm very excited for that. June 24th, a week later, we're going to have a moving up celebration during the school day. Mrs. Lawler is going to help us out, do a very new moving up ceremony. As you know, we typically have had all of our elementary students hand off our traditional flag to the next grade. This year, we're going to do a video of each grade moving to the next classroom, handing off their video, and we're going to put that as part of our very last farewell Thursday, not a farewell Friday this year. So we're looking forward to that for our families. And then later that day, we're going to be able to hold a 6th grade graduation in the tent out in the schoolyard for our 17 6th graders that will be participating. And they have the opportunity of inviting 4 guests per student to that activity. And then we're going to finally, and then on that night, June 24th, we are going to hold it's hard to say, to put a name on this. It's going to be a collaboration between our senior class and our junior class, and we're just going to call it a fun night, where both classes are going to be, they are part of the planning for a fun night of games, cornhole tournaments, Uno tournament. They're having food and they're having some music. I said I would be more than happy to participate in a dunk booth. I did one in January once out in the back of the school that I was willing to get into it. So I'm more than happy to get into one where it's much warmer on a June 24th night than a January. So they are still putting together an evening. As everybody knows, proms are not the same as there's still some guidance on those. So this was something that we were able to meet in the middle. The senior class has asked to have part of the night, the end part of the night, be more just for the seniors to have that last farewell where they have what was traditionally more like your class night activities. So we are looking forward to that. And then they're going to end the day on June 25th with our secondary graduation. And we have 16 students that are looking for graduates, and then they also are able to have 6 guests join us for that night. So Mr. Carwill, kudos to Mr. Carwill for securing our tent. Mrs. Ross found a great tent company, and we've been able to secure that tent, and we're trying to make the best of the situation. And I'm so excited that we're able to bring it into our schoolyard, and the tent is going to be big enough to be able to fit everyone underneath so that we don't have to worry about the rain like we did, unfortunately, last year. So we're really excited about that. So those are just some of the things that we're looking for. We are also trying to fit in a tradition that we have. Field day has been always something that the elementary students get excited about. So we are still in the planning phases for that. And Mr. Ford and Mrs. Moran are working on trying to secure some plans for that for those final weeks. So those are some of the great things that we have planned towards the end of the year. After the end of the year and the school year is over, I'm really excited. Mrs. DeDembo and myself have been working to organize some summer enrichment opportunities for our students. Right now in grades K through 6, we are thinking about, possibly opening, or I should say 1 through 6, and we are looking at the possibility of opening it up for some of our kindergarten students. So we have 6 weeks of wonderful theme-based camps. And those camps, right now we have 3 teachers that are kind of manning those, and they're doing different stations and different activities. They are theme-based. We have superheroes of America. We have princess fairies, dragons, and more. We have origami and paper lanterns and koi fish painting. We have a Greek mythology week. So we have a lot of fun activities for the kids while also trying to incorporate some academics, whether they know it or not. We are going to throw some of those things in just so that our students have something to look forward to over the summer. I am very excited to say that as of right now, we have at least 9 students per camp already signed up. And some of the camps, we have up to 16 students. So unfortunately, due to, size and staffing, we may have to put a cap on it, on the number of attendees, but I'm hoping that we can accommodate for all of the students that want to come. So I'm so excited about that. And I look forward to seeing how many of our students sign up and take advantage of this. We will be offering, food during that time for the students. We are going to reach out to the village to make sure that we coordinate, or we, talk to them about the summer program that they have. And I know, and we know that they do also offer lunch there. So we just want to make sure that we're coordinating with them so that there's no overlap and that we're meeting all of the needs of the students. So those are about the things that we have going on. I wanted to spend a little time, and I think that this is probably the first time, and maybe because we've just never had it organized, but I wanted to spend some time today and make some recognitions. We have many staff members that have had numerous years of service, and what I wanted to do tonight is I just wanted to acknowledge some and just go through the list of the milestones that we have with our teachers. I want to give a special shout out to Mrs. Della Rocca, our kindergarten teacher for many, many years. She's finishing her 30th year teaching in our district. So that's something that, not a lot of people can say that they've done. And I'm really excited to say that she's finishing up her 30th year. Mrs. Denoyers, one of our secondary social studies teachers, she's finishing her 29th year. Mr. Manning, another one of our secondary social studies teacher, is finishing up his 27th year. Now, I think a year or 2 of those may have been when he was a teaching assistant, but it's still a year of service to our district. Mrs. Littlejohn, this is her 24th, I think, and I'm not going to say, I think I fit somewhere in between Mr. Manning and Mrs. Littlejohn. I'm not quite sure. I think I'm 26 years, but if I admit that, then that just means I could be that old, and I'm just not going there. So Mrs. Starr, our secondary science teacher, she's finishing up her 21st year. And Mrs. Pelletier is also finishing up her 21st year. Between 15 and 18 years, we have Mr. Ford, one of our PE teachers, Miss Van Volkenberg, an elementary teacher, Mrs. Bushy, Mrs. Ford, and Mrs. Smith, and Mrs. Lawler. We also have Mrs. Lanou, she's like 4.5 years. So 14 and a half, and Mrs. Kniff is finishing her 12th year, and Mrs. Gully is finishing up her 11th year. So we have some teachers that have been with us for quite a long time, and I just wanted to just put an acknowledgement out there to those that have had 10 or more years of service with us in Green Island. I think that that's all I have for tonight. I would be more than happy to answer any questions if anybody has any questions. If not, that's all I have.
Thank you, Jody. I am so happy that you decided to recognize our long-term teaching staff. And I know that, well, let's see, 2 of the other board members I graduated with, and another board member who's younger than us by quite a few years. I remember when some of our longest serving teachers came into Heatley because I was a student. And so, it's a wonderful milestone, and it's a great recognition. And we congratulate them and we thank you for making that a public announcement about their many, many years of dedication and service to the district. So thank you for that. I did have one other question around summer programming. And so I know we're moving forward with summer school. Where are we at with that process for secondary students?
So actually tomorrow, Mrs. Apiri and I are going to start making the lists. I have all of the students, unfortunately, all the students that may be in jeopardy of not getting credit for credit bearing classes. And we're going to start making those phone calls. We do have some 7th and 8th grade students that if we look at the retention policy, we do have some students that do qualify and that we are going to be recommending. We did do some interviews that was part of the interviews that I did last, I think 2 weeks ago for our staff. And we also have some summer school special ed classes that we are going to be holding. So all of those things are going to be secured and parents will be notified by next Wednesday. And it's better be safe than sorry. That still gives them, it still does give them some time, some 3 weeks. And we have been in contact and have had a lot of parent conference meetings and a lot of one-to-one conversations. I know Mrs. Ross has had a couple conversations with some of our seniors that may be in jeopardy of 1 or 2 classes. So we have collectively been working very hard to get those students to stay focused and do what they need to do. We want to make sure that we're taking that the students that are eligible for the safety net, for the, not the safety net, but the, it's not really called the waiver for the Regents classes. We want to make sure that we're taking advantage of that. If a student is not one that's going to take a Regents exam, we are encouraging them all to take the Regents exam, but they have that exemption. I was like having, so we want to make sure that those students that could get the exemption still will be able to qualify for that. So the goal is to have everybody notified by Wednesday. And that along with the master schedule too. So it's a twofold question. So like tomorrow, I've already told Mrs. Apiri that, even though she spent a lot of time with me in the interview committees, that's the goal for tomorrow, is to see where those two things tie in. Because unfortunately, if the students don't take advantage of some of the summer programming that we have to offer, it does make the master scheduling that much more difficult. So we are going to try to troubleshoot all of those things tomorrow and really kind of solidify all of those plans.
I don't know. I don't know if this is I don't know if you're the right person for this or if Kim or Tiffany or somebody, but the shared service agreements that we're doing for those virtual classes where, our kids can sign up for class elsewhere and vice versa. I know that there were some issues that were still being ironed out around bell schedules and such, but if we have students that are retained because they don't take the credit bearing summer courses, is there a possibility of them taking advantage of shared service agreements, virtual classes, if our schedule?
Well, yes. And one of the things that we can do, and we have done before, is that we have had agreements with teachers to do like independent credit recovery. So even if a student doesn't take advantage of a summer, has been traditionally, like last summer was very difficult with COVID. Not a lot of schools were offering summer school. So one of the things that we did this fall was students that may have had some lost credit, we worked with the teachers to do an independent credit recovery, and they were able to gain credit that way. So we can continue to look at that. I don't know if that's always the best first option for students, but that is something. And Tiffany has been working on getting that course catalog with those shared services that you're kind of talking about. They are more that distance learning. So depending on what is in that course catalog, we can look and see if that is. There is another option, and we have done this in the past too. There is a program years and years ago, we've kind of worked through different programs, but there is an online credit recovery program that basically puts a curriculum, and then we just the students work with it independently, and then they're able to regain credit that way. Our students sometimes have a harder time being self-driven with those online programs, which is why we've gone with the independent studies with the teachers, because then they still have that teacher that they can contact if they are struggling. So we do have several different options that we can offer the students, and you know, it's not always a one fits everyone. So as we get a little bit closer, last Friday was I guess it's been a week or so since progress reports were out. And it's difficult with progress reports because, especially this time of year, because teachers are doing a lot of review, they don't have as much maybe grades as they would in a regular quarter. So it's kind of hard to determine where they are standing, but you know, we have a pretty good idea, and we're going to be able to offer a lot of different options for those students to be able to recover those credits.
Okay, good. Thank you. Anybody else have a question for Jody? All right. Well, thank you. And I'm happy to hear that the juniors and seniors are going to get to have a fun night. That's awesome.
We're trying slowly building it back in. We know that these moments are really important. They're milestones. Before you move on with the agenda, Andrea, I would be remiss if I didn't give a warm welcome to our newest board member, Kirsten
Yes.
Mason. Kirsten, we are so glad that you have agreed. I know you were write-in. Quite a few members in the community recognize that you would be a great fit for the Board of Education. You bring a younger perspective, which is great, and being a Heatley grad, and as well as at one time you worked at Heatley. So I had the pleasure of taking some time with Kirsten this week to kind of summarize the last 2 years of my journey with Heatley. And she's got a lot of reading to do, but I think she's going to be an asset to the Board of Education and to our students here at Heatley. So thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Kim, for bringing that up. We did a welcome the night of the election, but absolutely we should be welcoming you in your first official board meeting. So welcome. We're also glad to have you. Okay. So we do have some recommended actions, agenda items 8.01 through 12.01.
Motion?
Second.
Anybody have any comments, questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did we get any questions for the second public comment? Okay, no questions in the second public comment. Thank you. Then I don't believe we have any executive session tonight, unless anybody had something.
I don't.
Okay, can I?
No,
Okay,
I think
great.
we're good.
Wonderful. Can I get a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the night.